Welcome back to the Medium Cool Show. Today we're going to be talking about Dune 2, directed by Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah, Denis Villeneuve.
I want you to know I will love you as long as I breathe.
You will never lose me as long as you stay who you are.
What did you think of it? Do you like it?
It's really next level on a sci-fi scope and visual effects, like sci-fi.
Yeah, it really is.
But the characters are really, really bland and kind of annoying. And all the scenes on the Arrakis planet with Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya and Rebecca Ferguson, when they're just like in a cave talking to each other, I was just thinking to myself, please get me out of this scene. Let's get on with it. Let's get on with the desert warfare. The stuff in the stuff where they're like showing the Harkonnens with like Stellan Skarsgård, where the it's like the black and white type shit is all really exciting in my opinion.
Yeah, Austin Butler comes out of the gates swinging. He's the best part of this movie for me.
And then you have like those weird sections with like Christopher Walken and Florence Pugh and Charlotte Rampling, and then
which is just exposition.
It's just like, I don't know, the really undercooked characters.
Yeah.
But I understand why, because like they're so focused on the scope and the epicness and everything about the whole movie, which is just really, really next level. I have to give it to you. I have to give it to them on that, you know?
Yeah.
Denis Villeneuve is a visionary director.
He is.
And one at the top of his game right now in state-of-the-art filmmaking, which people are excited about.
Yeah. Here's the thing. This movie definitely is the bar for science fiction nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, this is the top of the line sci-fi movie. Really fucking good.
Yeah.
There's no questioning that. People are saying this is the best movie ever.
No, it's not, dude.
If you think it's the best movie ever, like, I'm happy for you.
Like, if you're
That's
like,
really cool that you like this movie so much. I did not see that. Like, for me personally, like, I felt like it was way too streamlined. There was no opposition. It felt like they just kind of cruised through, killing the Harkonnens and then like fucking taking over the planet. You know, there was no opposition, which I guess you get a lot of in the first one.
Yeah.
And that's supposed to lead you through to the second one, where the second one's like him rising up. But I just felt like that's so weird that there's like so little conflict that he ever really faces. And
because he's the chosen one, so you know he's going to succeed no matter what.
Yeah. But like, I think this definitely falls victim of like being a trilogy. Because like you really have to see how it's going to hold up with all three movies. I do think that like if all three movies are like at least as good as the other two, then it'll be like a pretty good trilogy.
I like the scene though where there's that worm. She puts the worm in the water and then sucks the blue juice out of it. Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah, she's like
yeah. Yeah, that was chill. I read the book by Frank Herbert, and there's some parts, like, it's such an epic book. I'm just like, how can you ever like really get it all in there? Like, there's a whole part missing with the baby inside Rebecca Ferguson, where the baby like is actually birthed, and then there's a little girl, but the little girl is so fucking smart. She speaks like a really like old woman, you know, and they don't have that in this movie.
Really?
And like he can talk to the baby while it's inside Rebecca Ferguson, and they don't really like show that at all.
What's up with like the thing at the beginning too, where like in the first one he has this voice?
Oh yeah, they don't even do it,
and they never use it.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I understand what the point of that was when he has this like superpower, and then like he never really uses it again.
Yeah,
I expected him to do something with it.
This movie is very uneven.
Yeah.
Whereas the other Denis Villeneuve films are so tight knit, so concise, like perfect in its execution. Just so like everything before Dune 1, all of his work, is so like just
Denis Villeneuve, dude,
and this one is it's like too much. It's like too uneven. It's flawed in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it is very, very dope when they're out in the desert and they're fighting, and all the expansiveness and the technology and the shooting and like the floating.
Yeah, the floating jetpacks are so sick.
Yeah, and the costumes,
sandworms, like it's CGI, but it looks so good. Like, it's gonna hold up so well, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of this movie is gonna hold up really well.
There's a lot of dick riding going on with this movie, and,
Yeah.
and we have to kind of we gotta put our foot down a little bit because
Yeah.
it's getting a little out of hand. We're not really like that crowd, you know. Like we're the medium cool show. We talk about things that like a lot of people don't really talk about or know about per se, and like we talk about directors that are dead, you know.
Yeah.
Like we talk about like older films, we talk about art house films. This would have been really exciting for me 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But now like I've kind of moved on. Denis Villeneuve is, you know, kind of on that same path of the Christopher Nolan, even though like I love Christopher Nolan. I do dick ride him and Tarantino and shit.
Yeah.
But like let's like calm down a little bit, bro. Being like, you made me come, smiley face.
You're quoting something right now? You're quoting like a Letterboxd review about this movie?
That's just like opinion, but like it's not perfect. It's not a masterpiece, dude. Like, how do we know that yet? You know?
Yeah, like it's definitely, like I said, like I talked to a friend about this movie who went and saw it and he hadn't seen the first one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he really pointed out a lot of like holes in the story of like how it doesn't really stand alone very well. But like, you know, you get Godfather Part 2, and if you watch Godfather Part 2, it's gonna be a phenomenal film, regardless of if you've seen the first one.
Yeah.
Star Wars, you didn't really need to see the first one. It like the second one is so fucking good. But this movie is like so reliant on the world building of the first one that it's able to kind of break free of that, and people get this like satisfaction from like the payoff this movie gives. Where it's like there's no opposition. He's just mowing down these Harkonnen who like fucked you over in the first one. Like he's just fucking eventually gets to the south and he's the chosen one, and then he fucking kills all of them, and he's like, we're gonna kill all these other people. Like
there's so many characters.
There are a lot of characters.
There's so many characters in the movie.
There are a lot of characters. Here's like I like a lot of the actors in this. Like I think there's a phenomenal cast in this movie. I'm not a big fan of Timothée Chalamet. Like, I think he's a really phenomenal actor, but I don't think he's right for this part, and I don't think he's, like, a type of actor that you can shoehorn into any role. Because I feel like there's certain actors that, like, with stars, they try to shoehorn into any role. This is not, like, a good role for him, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he does much with the part. Like, it just feels like Denis Villeneuve was busy with all the spectacle, and he's like, oh, say this, and like he wasn't really thinking about the actors, and the actors were just taking it like they just like literally taking what he was saying literally and just saying the lines, and it was just like really really boring like when those scenes were going on. The characters like but there's so many characters, there's so much cutting around, there's so many like it's so expansive, and it really does feel like you're in another universe. Another gal. You feel like you're like I never thought like, oh, they're shooting this in the desert somewhere in America. And it really does feel like we're like on another planet, you know. True. And I think Denis Villeneuve should like it'd be cool if he made like a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, he might be too big for Star Wars at this point. Like
yeah, he's cool. Like I was a very early champion of Denis Villeneuve.
I know he's amazing, dude.
Yeah, I was
he's
like
made so
really
many
early
movies.
champion of him.
Like Prisoner, even before Prisoner, Enemy. When Enemy came out, I was like, that was like around like the early 2010, where like psychological thrillers were kind of like getting big.
Enemy's like an art house movie, dude.
It is an art house movie, but it's like A24 movie before A24. It's a fucking good movie.
Blade Runner 2049.
I mean, that's
the best. That's like the best sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to modern
it really
sci-fi.
is. That's a movie that's gonna like stand the testament of time for like decades to come, you know, just how well shot that movie is, how thought out it is, and just like the CGI they use will hold up so well.
Yeah, and it makes sense that after he made that and Arrival, that they were like, oh yeah, dude, Dune, like he could pull off Dune.
Yeah.
You know, because it always has like a troubled past and stuff, and like Jodorowsky was gonna do it, but like the budget went out. Like there's all these crazy stories about like troubled productions with Dune. You know, you have
and then Lynch did
David
it,
Lyncher,
but like he didn't fucking.
But yeah, like I understand the dick riding of Blade Runner 2049, it's deserved, but like you have to admit that dick riding is a little out of control.
Yeah, dude, my favorite. I will say this, like I think Denis Villeneuve's like best movie And my favorite is Sicario, dude.
Yeah,
That's
Sicario.
a phenomenal film. I never saw the sequel. I heard it wasn't good, but like just the first one is so fucking good. That's such a concise, vague story that I just fucking love, dude. And then Prisoners as well is so fucking good.
He went on that run where it's like Enemy, Prisoners, Sicario, Arrival, Blade Runner 2049. You know, that's that era. Like that's just like that golden era. The 2010s Denis Villeneuve films.
Yeah, one of the best fucking directors of that decade for sure, dude.
Yeah, but like then the normies came in and like ruined it.
Yeah.
Like they really did.
Yeah.
But whatever, you know, people love the movie. It's getting a lot of praise all over the place. Not perfect. Really pretty next level though, and its execution, and yeah, it's dope. Like I'm glad it was made. Good for you guys.
Yeah.
You guys got the 2 Dune movies, so
I'm glad it was made, dude. Like, I fucking imagine if they were like during COVID, this movie came out on HBO Max, and they were like, it didn't gross enough money. We're not gonna make a sequel. Like, I would have been kind of bummed because I'm like, that sucks. You know that the circumstances like are not in its favor, and I'm glad that it succeeded and they made a sequel. Fuck yeah for filmmaking, but like,
fuck yeah, bro, on God.